you covering this very, very exciting topic of anti-aging. And thanks a lot for joining in and giving it straight over to you, and look forward to hear from you.
So good evening, everyone. What I'm going to do in next 20 minutes is 25 minutes. I'm going to walk you through some principles of how to keep yourself younger, not just figuratively and the way we say, no, we are young at heart. I want you to be young at your brain. I want you to be young at your bones, your joints. I want you to be young pretty much everywhere. And some of you have already understood the principles of this community. These are not the principles for a 1 week, one month course. These are the principles for life, and at basic level, they're very common sense, but somehow in the hustle bustle of life, most of us have, I won't say we have lost common sense, but we have lost touch with the common sense. Because many times and I'm not blaming you, I also do that at times. There's some work and then you shortchange your sleep. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to start for this retreat for Alibag, and I'm supposed to leave my home by 5:45. That means I'll wake up at 4:35. That means I won't get 7 hours of sleep, even if I sleep while talking to you just now, right? So these kind of so sometimes we have to compromise for genuine reasons, and sometimes we end up compromising because there are other issues. Just like I couldn't come for this retreat because I have a mother at home and she needs help, and I can leave only when my sister comes. And fortunately or unfortunately, sister's daughters got their 10th standard result today evening. So without knowing those, she couldn't plan anything. And so I luckily I was at home. Otherwise, she couldn't have come today. And so late tonight, she'll come, and then I can leave early morning. And I'm looking forward to coming to the retreat. So the topic today is anti-aging, but I'm not just going to tell you do this, do this, do this, do this. I'm going to make you think so that next time you have to make any choices. See, remember this. If you learn how to think correctly, invariably you take better decisions, because everybody's situation is different. Every situation in life also is often different. And so I'm going to share the screen now, and I'll prefer to put myself on not mute, what we call, I put my video off so that the bandwidth stays preserved, if that is okay with people. Let me stop my video. Can you see the screen, people, without seeing my face? Or would you prefer my video on? Lots of
The video on is better.
My video should be on? Okay, fine. So I've turned my video on. It will come on in maybe a second or two. Give me a second. I have started the video. So yeah. So I'm going to walk you through anti-aging strategies. And I must say these are about 2 or 3 of those core principles of what we learn in the community. And a couple others, detoxification and stuff like that. You will probably adopt along with these. In fact, one of the biggest principles, and which I will refer to in between, is the right association. Because if you sit with 10 people who like to smoke and drink, you're probably not going to feel very healthy not doing those. They almost will make you feel like what an idiot you are, right? So association in many forms is very vital. And so I'm very happy that you people have taken time on a weekday evening 9 to learn more about life. And all your associates on the community are interested in learning about health, which is why I'm so happy to share. So this is the small presentation on anti-aging strategies. Look at these. Those of you watching the films, you have probably seen these actresses. On the left is their old picture, and on the right is their current picture. Now this has happened, right? So they have become older. And so if that is the case, even this is going to happen. These are just manipulated photos, of course. But unfortunately, aging is not just skin-wise. If your skin ages, you just look old. But it's worse if you cannot go to the toilet, like my mother. She just can't go to the toilet. She can just sit at one place, somebody has to hold her hand, and she can barely walk. And you cannot have, and all those limitations which are not seen on your face, they themselves are not healthy. So this whole talk is not about how to look young. This talk is about how to be young. And so this is another point. Eventually, I meet a lot of people. They say, problem hoega to dekha jayega. And that's not the right attitude. You are responsible for your health. Your doctor is not. Your doctor's job is, if something goes wrong, your doctor is there to help you. But that doesn't mean your doctor has to take care of your health. Now, this is the screen. This is sort of how my life progressed. In 1989, I did a marathon. I was young. You can spot the guy. This yellow t-shirt guy is me. And then now it's about 31 years. Last year, I did another marathon. And I've been doing 31 years. I've been doing marathons, at least one a year. And I have about 184 marathons. And when you run a marathon when you are 22 years old, 20 years old, and when you run a marathon when you're 50 years old, 52 years old, there is a lot of difference. When you're young, you can train and you can run. When you're old, it's not so easy to train that well and run, because your body per se ages. Your bones age, your muscles age, your entire physiology ages. So I had to always grapple with this issue that, hey, I'm okay with aging, but I don't want to age so much that I can't do a marathon in a way, right? And so I started my studies on this around year 2000. And this is what I found is, from the age of 25 to age of 50, world's best people, people who take care of their health, they slow down by only about 10% or so, their speed of finishing a marathon. Now, what is true for running is also true for so many other things, like your brain, like your action, like your strength. Everything will be similar kind of a decay. But theory says you should age only by about 12% in running and 8% as a woman. And when it came to me, I was 25% slower 30 years later. And that got me worried. I said, why am I slowing down so much? Is this something I'm doing wrong? Or is this are the best people in the world doing something different? And out of that came my interest in knowing about anti-aging. What can I do? So the question I'll rephrase, which was for running, and for you, it's for your life, is that what can I do to ensure that I'm only 12% slower 30 years later, instead of 25% slower 30 years later? This is a running question. And same thing you have to ask for your bones. Same thing you have to ask for your liver. Same thing you have to ask for your lungs. Why is it that when you are 20 years old, you could climb 7 stories very easily, and now you are 50 years old, if you climb 1 story, you are going out of breath? Why? Maybe with normal aging, 7 stories should become 5 stories. 5 stories you climb and then you get tired. But why 1? That's too much, right? So the whole focus is to say it's okay to age, but it's not okay to age fast. It's okay to age, but it's not okay to age unnaturally, extensively. And so I'm going to give you some principles. So the question is, what are people doing for slowing down aging? Are there any healthy anti-aging strategies? So for that, the first point is, there is a difference between, now there is a lot of talk we hear about preventive medicine. And often people think that preventive medicine is the panacea. You just prevent aging, right? So now let me explain you why preventive medicine itself is good but not great. So this is how curative, that is allopathic, homeopathic, Ayurvedic medicine is. This is a normal person, and when he falls sick, he falls down here. Allopathic medicine is a curative medicine. Homeopathic medicine is a curative medicine. The idea is to bring him from sick to normal. You give medicines, make him all right. He catches COVID, you make him normal. Preventive medicine is supposed to be opposite of it. That is, you take that normal person and you prevent him from falling sick. So what are the things you do to prevent him from falling sick? Now let me show you why that is not a great strategy. It's good to want to stay healthy, but it's not good to want to be preventing sickness. There is a better strategy than that. And that is this. It is called wellness medicine. So my focus is wellness medicine. Kya hota hai? See, this is a normal person, and preventive medicine is to prevent him from falling sick. Wellness medicine is to take the normal person and you increase his health to a higher than normal level. So you make him more than normal. You make him well. Now, what's the difference? If the person is well, let me see if I have a slide for this. No, okay, this. So think about it. Now, if the person is well and he gets little zukam, he feels little, he doesn't get enough sleep. If the person is normal, next day he might develop fever. But if the person is well, he will fall from well to normal. So he will still be able to function. I hope you understand. Well and normal don't show any further symptoms. But well is far away from sickness. It is 2 stages away. right? Whereas normal is just one step away from sickness. It's like driving from Mumbai to Alibag. In wellness, I would tell you, hey, look, there are lots of potholes and drive carefully. So the entire 3 hour journey, you are so worried. You are continuously watching the road. You are watching traffic. You are saying, oh, I don't want a puncture in my car. So that 3 hour journey, you don't enjoy nature. You are just extremely panicky. What if there is a puncture? I'll be stuck here. Wellness essentially means is to have a spare tire in your dicky, a stepney. So what it does effectively is it tells you, hey, you're going to Alibag, drive carefully, but don't be paranoid. Puncture होएगा तो देख लेंगे, अपने पास spare tire है. ऐसा कुछ खुशी नहीं होएगी अपने को कि puncture हो गया, we can rejoice, but we'll not get stuck because we have a stepney. So you build extra, you keep the fifth tire. Now the difference between a car which has 4 tires and the car which has 4 tires plus a spare tire is nothing if there is no puncture on the way. But if there is a puncture, if there are lots of potholes on the way, the car with 5 tires, that is one spare tire, will win the battle compared to the guy or the car with 4 tires. And that is the whole idea behind wellness versus preventive. Preventive means 4 tires, drive carefully. Wellness means 5 tires, drive carefully, but itna tension bhi mat lena bhai, live with life. Thoda sa chala idhar udhar, theek hai, enjoy nature. That's the big difference. And figuratively, this is the difference. Look at this phone. Is this phone safe? 100% it's safe. It's not fallen. It's not going to fall. Unless your child comes there and jumps around. Or there is an earthquake. Then this guy is going to fall. Wellness means pushing the mobile from at the edge of the table to the middle. So now, thoda bhi dhakka lag gaya, to ye wala jo phone hai, that phone is not going to fall. Of course, we don't know. See, the sad part in our this mobile, you know, अरे ये तो गिरने को आया भाई, ये संभाल. But you and I don't know how far our lives mobiles are on the edge. थोड़ा धक्का लगेगा तो टिकेगा क्या? थोड़ा सा हार्ट अटैक आएगा तो हम बचेंगे क्या? थोड़ा सा गिरेंगे तो फ्रैक्चर होएगा क्या? You and I don't know yet, and we probably don't want to know it. So the idea is to always keep pushing the mobile in. Wherever the mobile is, push it towards the center of the table. And that is the entire strategy. So the strategy is to build margin of safety or spare capacity in the body. So to not to age at the age of 50 is to mean that have enough spare capacity in the body that you had at the age of 20. Push your life's mobile to the center of the table. Now, how do you do that? You build things like redundancy, spare capacity, margin of safety, extra cushion, tolerance. It's the fifth tire that you put in your life. So I hope you get the difference. When nothing goes wrong, the fifth tire is useless. The problem is you don't know when you will need the fifth tire in the car. And that's why you should have it. Because at least gaadi ban padega, so you will get stuck. But life ban padega, so it's even worse. So you should always have the fifth tire in life, which looks useless as long as there is no problem. The day you have a problem, you'll be grateful you had a spare tire. And so your age is now the next stage, next step. Your age is not your candles that you burn, apne cake lagate hai, 53, wow. That's not your age. In your mind, your age should be your body's vital organs ka age. What do I mean by that? Different organs in our body age differently. Suppose आप बहुत दारू पीते हो, तो आपका liver will be weak. So you will be 50 years old. I'm taking 50 as a sort of a boundary. You know, 54 should be the boundary actually, because I'm 53. So 54 and above are old people, and 53 and below are young people. So I'm taking 54 as the cutoff. So we have 54 वालों के नीचे वाले जो लोग हैं उनका क्या रहता है कि they are young but okay. So if you take jokes apart, you could be 50 years old, but if you drink a lot of alcohol, your liver will be like a 70-year-old. You could be 50-year-old, and your lungs, if you smoke cigarettes, could be like a 80-year-old. And sometimes for no fault of yours. Like my family, we have a history of eye problems, the macular degeneration problem. So sometimes you could be 50 and your eyes could be like a 60-year-old. So essentially what you want to make sure is, make sure your brain is like suppose you're 50, but suppose your brain is like a 40-year-old, your lungs are like a 30-year-old, your eyes are like a 40-year-old, your heart is like a 30-year-old, your liver is like a 20-year-old. So for all practical purposes, except your looks, you're pretty much 30-year-old. I hope you get where I'm going from here. That it does not matter what your age is. That is for filling up forms. उसके ऊपर तुम्हारा वैक्सीनेशन का डिसीजन होएगा कि अरे ये तो 45 के ऊपर है, he is allowed to get vaccinated. But if your lungs are younger than 45, your teeth are younger than 45, for all practical purposes, for life, for living, you are below 45. And so another point is your age, you should look at the age of your body's weakest organ. For example, if you have heart disease, really bad heart disease, now then my heart is like an 80-year-old. The rest of the body is like a 50-year-old, but I have to worry about the heart. I don't have to worry about my bones. Theoretically, I should not have problem. I mean, मालूम नहीं है, but शायद if I have heart of an 80-year-old, my death will probably be decided by heart attack, not by lung failure and COPD and all those, right? So obviously you cannot be 100% sure, but this is how one thinks about it. Now, typical old age diseases. These are the diseases we want to prevent or slow down. Old age may you lose memory. Dr. Girish explained you how to keep your brain healthy. Similarly, eyes, you lose vision. Heart, you get heart blocks. Liver, pancreas में diabetes से pancreas ages. Joints, arthritis से age होते हैं. Muscle mass. So there are ways to slow down some of these agings. You cannot stop aging. We'll all be old. But let us be only 12% old. Let us not be 30% old, as I was talking about marathon. So let your liver be 20% old in 30 years. Let it not be 60% old. So how do you build wellness? You do what is called daily deliberate action. 4 pillars of that. And we have this concept called slight edge. I don't know if you know about it, but slight edge, it's written by a person, very good author. He said, okay, don't look for something big. Say, एक दिन morning walk को गए, 2 घंटा walk किया, that will not do anything to you. You will probably be tired the whole day. But if you go for a morning walk every day for half an hour, every day, nothing again will happen in a day, in a week, in a month, but a lot will happen in a year. A lot will happen in a decade. In a decade, you will not even be able to recognize yourself. So we focus too much on doing something, kuch karenge yaar, and we don't focus on something dheere dheere, the hare versus rabbit. Now, obviously, we are not hare versus rabbit, hare versus tortoise. खरगोश और कछुआ उसका वो जो रहता है ना. Now don't be a kachua. We are not saying don't do anything fast, do it slow. We are not saying that. What we are saying is be consistent. You can go consistent fast, that's good. If you can go consistent slow, that is also good. If you go short term fast, it's not so great. So I hope you understand. I'm not trying to tell you slow. I'm trying to tell you consistent. That is more important. And if you want to go faster consistently, you can do that. So now another point for you to think on aging. See, हम बुढ़ापे के लिए पैसे बचाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि we can't earn when we are 70, 75 years old. We don't want to work when we are 75 years old. And another thing is it should be a priority. Otherwise नहीं होएगा. वो दिवाली के लिए खर्चा करेंगे हम लोग. अरे वो नया washing machine चाहिए, पुराना वाला आवाज करता है. So we'll get some new one. And we don't save for old age, right? So unless it's a priority, it will not happen. Now think about money and think about health. So the way we save health for old age, wealth for old age, why not save health for old age? Because पैसा नहीं है आपके पास तो बैंक से लोन ले सकते हो. पैसा नहीं है आपके पास तो शायद आपके दोस्त से आप थोड़ी देर के लिए बैंक से उधार ले सकते हैं. बट हेल्थ नहीं है अपने पास तो यू कैनॉट बोरो फ्रॉम एनीवन. अगर आपके भाई के पास बहुत हेल्थ है, बहुत पैसा है तो दे देगा. बहुत हेल्थ है तो क्या मिलने, ही कैनॉट गिव यू, राइट? एंड वी हैव दैट. माय सिस्टर हैज हार्ट डिसीज एंड I wish I could give her health. I cannot give her health. It's just she has to live her life. She has to fight her own demons. That's what we say. And so it has to be a priority to save health for old age. And so these are the 4 pillars. I'll quickly walk you through this. One is to get proper amount of sleep, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, I'm sorry, I don't do it many times, but I try to see. If I tell you 10 principles and you follow 7 of them, it's not the end of the world. But following 7 is better than following 4. Following 4 is better than following 2. And so we say follow as many as you can, as and when you can. You don't need to be a police, right? So positive mental attitude is also important because stress creates a lot of hormones. These stress hormones lower inflammation, release, increase your immunity. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to release a video on, I actually, you probably saw that video on cortisol, which was also on that It's a stress hormone. But stress actually will make you gain weight because the cortisol hormone modifies some of your internal hunger and satiety and other things. So positive mental attitude is not just satsang, khush raho. It has a medical connotation. So when we say gratefulness, be grateful every day, have 2 or 3 positive thoughts. Grateful. What are you grateful for? We don't want to say this just to be Rishi Muni type, spiritual bano. It's a medical therapy. It's a free therapy. Your body heals yourself, and these are the reasons. And so, get proper exercise. This is again a little more complicated, but everybody can do an exercise. Everybody does not have to do the same type of exercise. You're very fit, do more rigorous exercise. You're not so fit, do light exercise, do walk, all that. Now this is a topic I want to really say because हर एक का एक्सरसाइज अलग होता है. आपको क्या करना है, क्या है, आपका वजन कितना है, आपका उम्र कितनी है, आपको कोमॉर्बिडिटीज, हेल्थ के क्या प्रॉब्लम है, everybody will have different. But this is something we can implement, and this is something unfortunately is also keeping up with our modern lifestyle. See, we want quick solutions, right? And we want things which won't take time. One of the problems with going for a 1 hour walk is it takes 1 hour or sometimes even more. You cannot compress 1 hour walk in 10 minutes. There is no shortcut to a 1 hour walk. You have to do 1 hour, right? तुम कितना भी shortcut मारो, 1 घंटा लगने चलना ही पड़ेगा. Nutrition से जो supplementation is a shortcut to nutrition. Ideally, you should eat healthy and all that. There are limitations in this. You can't get all the healthy food. It's sometimes not affordable. It's not. Now, many of you are in Alibag at a resort. You don't have control over food, right? You can't say, no, I want only organic kaddu. I mean, if you're willing to pay thousands of rupees, they will get you organic kaddu, but it's a little difficult, right? We are not film stars and celebrities. So why do we need, how do we use nutrition in our preventive aging? We use nutrition as raw material. We can use nutrients for, or raw material for bodily processes. जैसे protein है, it's used by our body to make something, to make muscle and stuff like that. Nutrients for organ protection, and I'll tell you how some nutrients protect your eyes from getting permanent damage. Nutrients for inflammation control. Inflammation is a big problem. To bring down all that problem. Nutrition for oxidative stress reduction, which is also similar to inflammation. Nutrients for immunity boost. This everybody is expert on. In एक साल में COVID के माहौल में everybody is an expert on immunity. So you understand that, but that immunity doesn't come by just thinking. You have to do something. From anything from tulsi to giloy to this and that and okada and all that, those are immunity boosters. So now these are some nutrients. Again, I don't want to go into the AO is short for antioxidant. So for brain, now this is again tragic. To protect your brain from aging. So antioxidant, when we use that word, oxidation is essentially aging. Jung pakadta hai na apne lohe ko. That is loha becoming oxidized. Antioxidants mean loha doesn't get something that prevents loha from getting oxidized. So antioxidants are things that don't oxidize. Now apne brain ko jung nahi pakadta hai, but something that sometimes the cell damage happens with aging because of the energy generation processes and all that. These are all it's like आपका चूल्हा है, चूल्हे पे एक दिन में, एक हफ्ते में कुछ नहीं होगा, बट 10 साल आप वो चूल्हे पे खाना पकाओ तो चूल्हे पे भी कचरा जमेगा, lot of कचरा. So some things like that happen in our body. The damages accumulate, and to clean them, essentially for brain you need green tea and fish oil. For eyes you need lutein and zeaxanthin, and heart there are garlic and protein and fish oil. So this is a list of a few things that are needed. In fact, you can probably see here that fish oil is used in many of these. And that's not because fish oil is something special. Fish oil is unfortunately one of the few good oils that we need. अपने पर बचने के लिए protein चाहिए, carbohydrates चाहिए, and oils चाहिए. So protein is needed. You see, protein is needed. Carbohydrate अपने को फुगट्टा मिलता है. Chocolate, ice cream. Many of you must have had ice cream. Many of you must have had dessert. अपने को carbohydrates आराम से मिलते हैं. So proteins and oils कम मिलते हैं, and जो oils मिलते हैं वो unhealthy मिलते हैं. Some of these are these are all the omega-6 oils and refined oils and trans oils, and they are not good oils. So our body needs oil. तो क्या करें? बहुत सारे oils अच्छे नहीं है. So we have to take some oils. The good oils are fish oils, and so fish oil is very useful. Protein is useful, and there are other things. But I hope you understand that while there are commonalities, many organs need different things to keep them from aging, which is true, isn't it? आपके गाड़ी के टायर को हेल्दी रखने के लिए यू नीड अ डिफरेंट प्रोसेस, गाड़ी के कार्बोरेटर को क्लीन करने के लिए यू नीड अ डिफरेंट प्रोसेस, दोनों को एक से नहीं होएगा, राइट? यू नीड, वैसे ही अपने बॉडी के ऑर्गन से डिफरेंट न्यूट्रिएंट्स कीप, देयर इज नो सिंगल न्यूट्रिएंट व्हिच कीप्स योर बॉडी हेल्दी, एंड सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस रेंज एंड थ्री की न्यूट्रिएंट्स आई वुड एडवाइज यू, बिकॉज इतना सब करोगे तो पागल हो जाओगे फर्स्ट डे. आई थिंक इट्स वर्थ इट, आई थिंक एक्चुअली इट्स वर्थ इट. But so protein, omega-3 and some antioxidants. Talk to the person whom you know, who has more knowledge. Oxidation, these are all these damages oxidation causes. When I say jung पकड़ता है body को, तो jung नहीं पकड़ेगा, but jung का जो process है, aging का process है, these are all aging processes your various organs will undergo. So antioxidants are specific thing. Antioxidant for brain will, green tea will prevent brain from aging. Antioxidant for blood vessels will prevent blood age. So garlic will help you in that. So that kind of thing. Now you can't get it easily from food. Lots of chemicals in foods we eat. देखा रहेगा, this is a paper का article, Times of India का article है. Look at that. Pesticide residues in all of these. So some of you think, अरे मैं तो fruits खाऊंगा, healthy रहूंगा. Fruits खाओगे ठीक है, but how do you know many of your fruits don't have these pesticides? You know, then you have to buy organic fruits, and then you have to trust the source, and they are very expensive. And family of 4, it will be thousands of rupees a day. So कर सकते हैं, but हम तो टाटा बिरला अंबानी है नहीं, तो थोड़ा सा अपने को लिमिट आ जाता है. That's why sometimes supplements are cheaper. Farmers spraying crops with animal hormone, you know, all these. Now, for you to stay healthy, you need 5 to 10 servings. Normally for people like us, 5 foot 10 inches, you know, that kind of thing. 10 servings a day. 10 servings mean 10 muthi jitna fruits and vegetables. Now, एक vegetable is not enough. Like you can't have 10 केले खाऊंगा मैं, हर दिन 10 केले खाऊंगा. That's not it. Every day you have 1 kela, 1 apple, little strawberry, little broccoli, little papaya. It's very difficult to have all those varieties. But that's how you stay healthy. So now you will say, but ye nahi jamega yaar. So that's what I agree. And that's why people don't say healthy. So I'm not saying pagal hai log. I'm saying sometimes it's not convenient. And so sometimes supplements is a convenient way to do that. So I'm not like a guy who says, no, don't eat apple, don't eat banana, don't eat broccoli, don't eat mushrooms. I'm the guy who says, have them and have this. Proteins. 90% of Indians lack protein. This is Times of India. This is well-to-do people. ये गरीब लोगों का नहीं है. गरीबों का तो जिसको एक दिन का खाना नहीं मिलता है, दिन में दो बार का खाना नहीं मिलता है, उसके लिए तो बुरा है. But this is true for Indians. I mean, well-to-do people, and that's sad. And so now there are some reasons you to take supplement. I'm done in now 3-4 minutes, 2-3 minutes maybe. Supplement when you should take for preventing aging. I'm focusing on preventing aging. Okay? I'll tell you these are the 5 or 6 limitations. One, sometimes it's not very convenient. Green tea. लोग बोलते हैं ग्रीन टी पीऊंगा, तो लोग क्या करते हैं, टम्बलर बल्कि लाते हैं पीते हैं. It's not convenient. You can't drink. You have to have 100 milliliter of green tea 10 times a day divided over 10 intervals. Not convenient. रात को पियोगे तो नींद नहीं आएगी क्योंकि उसमें कैफीन रहता है. 1 liter of green tea will have about 3 coffee cups जितना, बड़े कप जितना कैफीन रहता है. You will not sleep in the night. So those are the issues. Sometimes it's not hygienic because there are pesticides and antibiotics and steroids. Chicken विकन जो आदमी बहुत बार आता है उसमें steroids रखते हैं उनको, you know, to prevent them. Sometimes milk has steroids, antibiotics, not steroids, antibiotics. So you end up getting antibiotics even if you don't want to take antibiotics क्योंकि तुम्हारे दूध में है. Sometimes it's not enough in our foods क्योंकि वो soil depletion होता है. Then there is a lot of need for food ingestion. अभी वो 10 fruits and vegetables दिन में खाओगे तो खाते ही बैठोगे. अपना वो बकासुर करके कोई तो था अपने स्क्रिप्चर्स में वगैरह, तो बकासुर खाता है, उसको भीम ने मारा था, तो बकासुर जैसा खाना पड़ेगा अपने को. So it's not, I mean, we don't live only for this, right? We have a busy life. So it's difficult. Sometimes it's not part of our meals. Like a very beautiful product called Silymarin is needed to keep your liver healthy. दारू पीने की जरूरत नहीं है. नॉर्मल आदमी को भी लिवर को हेल्दी रखना है तो you need Silymarin. But problem is आएगा कहाँ से? There are no good sources. No, lutein is useful. The best source is marigold. Marigold का झंडू के फूल रहते हैं ना, उसमें रहते हैं. उसके भी फूल का, झंडू के फूल गाय को खाते हुए देखा है, आदमी को खाते हुए थोड़ा मुश्किल है. So sometimes it's not very convenient. And I'm not just preaching. I mean, these are the things I take. And you might call me mad. In fact, the last time somebody said, "Tu sachi leta hai kya? Dekh, main idhar rakha hai mera goli ka dabba." Oh, ये दिख रहा है क्या? This is actually my tablet. This thing अभी उस time भर के रखा था. इतना लगता नहीं है. बारिश के time थोड़ा खराब होता है तो थोड़ा सा हल्का रखा है. But this is the similar box. And so these are different supplements for different parts of your body. And so I want to just share that I learned about these things over a period of time. What I'm telling you in 30 minutes, I didn't learn on one day. It took me years to learn. इस तरह से उस तरह से धक्के खा के. But I'm really proud that many years back, this is 2011, when I was 44 years old, thanks to this, though I was slowing down, I actually figured out how to be younger in whatever, health, attitude, everything. I could do 52 marathons in 1 year of 2011, which to me, I think it's still an Indian record. I do not know. I didn't do it for a record. I just wanted to die saying that I did something which was impossible for me to even think of. And that means at the age of 44, I was younger than what I was at 20 years old. I could do this much better. And this is not something because I was great. This was because something I ensured that my body doesn't age like a typical Indian who ages. Our Indians are very healthy when they are 20, and they're very unhealthy when they're 40. And something goes wrong on the way. And so my suggestion to you is, I think this is probably the last slide. My suggestion to you is use all the learnings you are getting in this community. Get the wisdom from people who are equally health conscious like you. Learn from what they are doing and use these supplements. These are tools. See, all of these are tools. The community is learning. Sometimes we tell you to read some books. Sometimes we tell you to come for a meeting, discuss amongst ourselves. Those are, that's a process of slowly learning, and so I think those are tools. You should look at them as tools. जैसे अपने को किला मारने का है दीवार में, so आप कितने भी मजबूत रहेंगे, it's better to use a hammer, because hammer से वो कीला आसानी से जाता है. So these are the tools for you to take care of your health. Supplements is also a tool for you to take care of health. And I'll be very happy to answer questions. I have my favorite brands. I can even share that, but we'll not keep it commercially totally. I will be happy to share if somebody wants to know. And so I'm done, Stefan. If there is anything specific people want to ask, I'll answer that. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Madhur. I mean, incredible. Can you just get the screen sharing off, Madhur, so we can see each other? Great.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I think we'll take one or two questions, relevant questions that kind of apply to everyone. Anyone who has got any questions for Madhur before we finish the talk?